Crypto Twitter is dead. The phase is over and most people don't even realize it yet. From 2013 to 2021, the space was full of chaos, opportunity, and tons of amazing trades. But over the recent years, something's changed, and you probably feel it too. The casino industrialized itself. It ate itself from within. Liquidity fragmented, and the game stopped being fair. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what happened to crypto Twitter. Like, where is it going? What caused this change? And where is the next opportunity so that you can profit from it? So let's get right into it, guys. The death of crypto Twitter, how scams and greed ruined an ecosystem. Hades Alpha, the post-CT era. What CT really was. I'm going to explain to you exactly what it was from someone that lived and breathed it. I've been in crypto since 2017, so I know exactly what CT was. You're going to know from my experience what crypto Twitter was. We got the Industrialized Casino. How in the last few years the game has changed. You probably realize this too. Retail entered and they exited, disillusioned. What caused this change? The end of novelty. Exactly what happened, how retail became disillusioned, and what were the marketing tactics and mechanics that allowed this to happen. Institutional alignment. What's going on in the background throughout all of the retail mania that's going to lead to the next capital injection in crypto. The on-chain order, a little bit more explanation of the numbers behind the big companies that are coming in, what's happening with tokenization, what's happening with AI, so that you guys can be aware and be prepared for the next stage, and the new era, where I envision crypto moving in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, so that you can always be one step ahead of the game. So let's get right into it, guys. What CT really was. Well, crypto Twitter wasn't just a crypto community. Crypto Twitter was the center of the crypto world. So I hear I write, a little bit like RuneScape was, if any of you guys played RuneScape. In RuneScape, you had the town hall where everyone traded, everyone messaged, everyone was sharing ideas. This really was what crypto Twitter was. Everyone was sharing ideas around, talking about different metas. There was a culture formed around crypto Twitter. So this is before the exchanges were professionalized and venture fund moved narratives. CT was the original place where sentiment, gossip, and narratives met. Narratives were formed, narratives were shipped. New metas were formed. And every big move happened through crypto Twitter, especially in the last bull market, 2021 and 2017 as well. So I remember the likes of Kobe with his podcast Up Only. You had Loomdart, Hakasaka, hope I pronounced that right. They were the voice of 2017 and 2021. And this is when CT was at its zenith. It was at like the top of what it could be. And the edge was that CT's real power was speed, right? And corporations don't have this. Metas would form straight away and they would explode. And it was really funny as well because the community was filled with loads of different people. The people that really moved metas in CT were the rich whales. These were the people that believed in a token early, and then the token appreciated a lot, and they held a lot of it and had a lot of money. So ETH whales, in my opinion, in 2021 were the biggest chads. They would buy anything, guys, because they had so much money and they love to gamble. Whereas Bitcoin whales, in my opinion, they don't really like to gamble. They just want to hold their Bitcoin. So ETH whales were always the best. And then you had Soul whales at the latter end of 2021, and these were cool as well. You had communities like DKS and the Boogles, and a few other communities as well. And these people were great as well. But each cycle had its own elite of CT, and the early believers who profited early were the ones who were the new gods of CT, as I write here. The information was free, but the interpretation was scarce, and that was what was needed, okay? So the best traders didn't predict price, they anticipated emotion and sentiment, and this was what CT was best for. The culture was very funny about CT. It was almost like a kid-like culture. It was anonymous because from 2013 it was cool to be anonymous. Things are changing though now. Obviously, I'm here in front of the screen. I'm not anonymous anymore. You had NFTs. You had fully grown men with like pudgy costumes and, you know, crazy all sorts of like kid costumes and stuff. And being called a degen wasn't an insult. It was a compliment, right? If you made a few million in the bull market and then you lost 90% of it, you were considered cool. It was like a badge of honor. Everyone went through it. I went through it as well. So those that dominated were a combination of gambler, philosopher, and builder. CT's chaos was so good and lasted so long because it rewarded real results over titles, unlike other corporate structures. But eventually it decays, and that's what happened here. And unfortunately, we get the decay here in the industrialized casino. And later on, I'm going to show you exactly what to expect later on in crypto in the next few years, so that you guys can stay on top of everything. Just going through the detail now. Stay with me, guys. We're going to get through that. We're going to get to the new era of CT in one moment. So the escalation. Over the last few years, you probably realized that retail had been extracted from so much. All my videos cover this pretty much. I mean, I talked about Trump's coin, I talked about crypto as a scam, crypto is evil, and these are obviously, you know, it is kind of true. Like crypto has become a little bit evil in the last few years because it reached its final form where the casino was fully industrialized and it was an extraction machine. The mechanics were built just to extract from people. And this is why retail's left. And this is why, in my opinion, we need a flush. It wasn't sustainable. A token made in 2021, which was made on Ethereum with a tech platform, could perform incredibly well and have very few competitors. Professional market makers for smaller coins weren't so much of a thing back then. Nowadays, every single small cap token has a market maker. Every single one. It's crazy. And these guys take 20% off the top of any buys that come in. So if you buy $1,000, they will sell $200. It's crazy. I mean, on average, obviously, guys. Since about 2023, the birth of PumpFun, thousands of tokens being spat out every single day, Solana became a playground for extractors and speculative casino madness. All the while, market makers, KOLs, and all of these people, they were taking away liquidity. So retail came, retail got extracted from, retail left. This actually happened a few times in this cycle as well. The machinery, KOLs evolved into marketing tools for coins. They were given supply and they'd routinely dump onto the market. So KOLs would be given, I don't know, 0.5% supply of a Solana token. And they're told, hey, little KOL, you're only allowed to sell $3,000 per day. I know it sounds like a lot for us, but for them, it wasn't really that much. Trust me, if you're a KOL watching this, you know exactly what I mean. Let's say they have 20 KOLs on and they're each selling $3,000 per day. 3 times 20 is 60, I believe. 60K a day of sell pressure. On coins, bigger coins, that was even more. So these are the people that are extracting from you, and they got given free supply. They didn't even have to buy in like you did. So it was unfair from the very beginning. These are the people that were marrying the coin to retail. They were the bridge between these two people. Celebrities and presidents joined in. They took advantage of the casino and financial degeneracy that was taking place. Every meme, every token, every narrative cycle became part of that designed feedback mechanism. So profits no longer were given to the best traders. They were given to the extractors that created the machine, okay? And at the end of the day, it's just a game of incentives. When you have a community, when you have financial degeneracy, when you have so many people that believe in crypto and so many people that want to make money in crypto, inevitably you're going to get a small group of very intelligent people that are going to concentrate power, going to create systems to extract from you, a little bit like the financial system we live in now. Every single transaction you make, if you want to live a life, you're going to give some money to someone that owns the system. When you rent a house, you're paying rent. When you go to the grocery store, you're giving a small percentage to Visa. All of these are people that have built the framework around the system you live in. And in crypto, exactly the same thing has happened. How could you expect anything less? It's just incentives. I don't even need to read this paragraph that I wrote out. You can read it if you want. It's all the same thing. The illusion of progress. Everything became so optimized that it stopped feeling human. Retail wasn't competing anymore. They were literally cattle being processed, and every move was predictable. The chaos that made CT exciting had disappeared, and this was the final nail in the coffin for the industrialized casino. The end of novelty. Every bull market carries its own energy. From 2017, it was discovery phase. 2021 was euphoria. 2025 is fatigue. And 2027 is going to be something exactly and entirely different, which we're going to get to a little bit later. But the degen culture finally ran out of imagination because it had taken it too far. Bob Lucas's recent tweet, he said vaporware tokens can only be peddled for so long. And he's so right. There's only so much time that this extraction can go on, and it needs a reset and it needs a cleanse, which is exactly what we're getting right now in November 2025. So it's pretty crazy. In like 2021 in meme coins, you didn't need a roadmap, you didn't need a team, you didn't even need a website anymore. All you needed was KOLs and attention. And meme coins became the easiest way to drain retail, and extraction just became so efficient because meme coins were so easy to extract from. You didn't need any real tech. You didn't need anything. You just needed a load of KOLs that were willing to peddle the vaporware and a few believers that liked the meme, and you could extract from them as much as you like. And you guys would be disgusted as to how much money these market makers and KOLs were making. I mean, we're talking about $500,000 a day for some of them, a day. And I know you might not believe me, but I've heard of these numbers, so you have to take my word on it. It's absolutely disgusting, okay? The structural truth. Liquidity follows attention. When attention and engagement fades, markets follow. So by mid-2025, retail wasn't just tired, they were disillusioned. And I know this because I've spoken to a lot of friends that aren't really deep into crypto, but they did kind of mess around with it a bit. They all got burnt, they all lost money on meme coins. And a lot of people have learnt now, and maybe you've learnt too, that it's controlled by insiders, market makers, well-connected players. So they just checked out. They said, fuck this. I don't even want to get involved in this. I want to play a fairer game. Bitcoin was near all-time highs, but most altcoins and memes were struggling. And that's how the cycle resets. And it's a good thing in my opinion. So, the institutional alignment. We'll get into the meat of it now, guys. The shift. So while retail was focused on meme coins, degen plays, institutions were quietly building the infra behind all of this. And that laid the foundations for crypto for many years to come. Transition started around 2022. In 2023, it matured. 2024 is when stablecoin payments reached $28 trillion. And that surpassed the volume of MasterCard and Visa. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And the strategy is that institutions don't buy hype. They buy when everyone is tired. The ETFs, the tokenization projects, they weren't made to help retail. They were made to control the industry, and that's the harsh truth. BlackRock's ETF gave Bitcoin legitimacy, but it came at a cost because it allowed them to take hold of the narrative and allowed them to shape the entire digital global economy in any way that they wanted. And crypto finally got its acceptance, but it lost control of its story in the process. And that's the kind of what we're having to wrestle with. The funny thing is, in 2017, if you told most of CT this, they would have been over the moon that this happened. But it comes at a consequence, and that's just the harsh truth. The inversion. While CT was still chasing memes and pumps, institutions were building foundations behind them. So people thought they were running the show, but the real players were actually setting up custody, settlement networks in the background. And the infrastructure has now been put in place. So for the on-chain order, we know that crypto is the future, but what does this mean exactly? Well, I recently watched the FII Institute's 2025 conference. It's in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, and it's basically the biggest investment funds, biggest state funds in the world, talking about the future of finance. Larry Fink, who is the CEO of BlackRock, he spoke about tokenization in crypto. He said that it's going to be a massive industry. This tells you already, these people are in control of trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. This means that they're going to be pumping a load of money into this sector. That's crazy. That's going to be more money than we've ever seen before enter a crypto space. Tokenized assets, real world collateral, programmable finance. This is where the real money is moving to. And when capital of that scale begins to enter, it is like opening the floodgates. And this is where the next billionaire of our industry will be. And this is why I'm telling you guys, you need to pay attention here because we're going to get to the meat of it. This is much like the early internet. The degens built the foundation, the companies built the products, and the regulators slowly but surely built the walls around them. Bitcoin became the foundation, stable coins became the money flowing around it, and the tokenized assets built the structure, with the structure built on top of this. And the funny thing is that the same infrastructure that allowed us to trade meme coins is now going to be the same infrastructure that's allowing trillions of dollars to move through it. So it's a bit ironic. So, the new era, what does this mean for us? I mean, you're telling me all of this, Hades, but what does this mean for me? Like, how are we going to make money from this? I'm going to explain to you. Well, firstly, the exhaustion we're seeing right now, you may not be seeing this video in November 2025, but if you are, the exhaustion that we're feeling is just paving the way for a new cycle to begin. Euphoria has been burned, CT has died, the scams, the dopamine trading, the vaporware, it all had to die. And what's left now are the builders. The traders and funds that survived because they had discipline. So the next phase isn't going to feel quite like what CT did. There's still going to be speculation because we never go from 0 to 100 or 100 to 0 straight away. It might go from like 100 to 40 if that makes sense. It's going to be less speculation, but it's going to be built off real value. Buyback coins like Hype did very, very well in 2025. Robotic coins, AI coins, we're going to get into this. So the phase we're entering, like I said, coins and ideas have to be backed by real value and real tech. Hype only works if it sits on top of something that actually functions, like robotics, AI, tokenized real-world assets. Larry Fink has already told you that he's going to pump trillions into this space. This is where the next metas are going to be, and I'm on the lookout for the next coins here. Tokenization will link industries. AI will optimize them, and robotics will bring them to life. The casino will still be here, but the games are going to be very slightly different. But the skill sets that we would have built during this period over the last few years is still going to be very applicable to this period. So don't worry about it too much, okay? This is where speculation finally meets value, and this is where we will be prepared to take advantage. Okay, guys, just wrapping it up here. What's coming for crypto isn't smaller, it's actually bigger. The likes of Larry Fink talking about tokenized assets. Trillions of dollars are going to come into this space. It's just going to be different, but there's going to be more money in the system, and it's going to be a little bit more institutionalized, and that's okay, guys. Things change. It's going to be a tiny bit less speculative. It might be not meme coins. It's going to be things based on real value, but you can still catch the 10x if you're smart. So it's not the end of crypto. The same culture that built the KOLs is now rewriting the blueprint for global digital finance. It's pretty insane, to be honest. CT birthed and led the system, and now the big players are ready and able and willing to scale it. Those who adapt to this quieter period and higher IQ cycle will become the next generation of whales, builders and thinkers. And those who evolve with it, like you and I, will define the next era. Crypto Twitter didn't die, it grew up. And those who do the same will build the future. Thank you very much, guys. Any comments, just leave them down below. I read every single one, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye-bye.